Hey, it is Wednesday the 22nd, and I'm going to tell you a story of my massive travel blunder. I left Paris on Tuesday, and I was supposed to get on a 2 p.m. train, but I was late because I went to the catacombs, blah, blah, blah. So I get on a train at 3 p.m., and my plan was to spend one night in Antwerp, and then from Antwerp leave for Berlin this morning. So I get to Antwerp, the central station, and I check my email, and it turns out the hospital I was supposed to be staying in closed reception 2 hours before I even got there, and didn't email me about it until I was already on a train, which means I didn't have access to Wi-Fi. So I was like, oh, now what? Well, I was like, I'll go to the hospital anyway, like maybe I can just hang out in the lobby and talk to somebody in the morning. So then I look up a map, get oriented, I think I know where I'm going, so I walk out of the station. I spent 2 hours just wandering around, no idea where I was. Luckily I got back to the train station, at which time I realized I really needed to pull Mandy, then. And all the bathrooms were locked, because apparently they closed bathrooms. Anyway, so my brilliant plan was get on a train, use their bathroom, and then leave the train. However, I forgot one important thing about trains. They move. So I got on this train and it moved, and then I ended up in a suburb, small town type thing outside of Antwerp called Essen. And there was literally nothing there. There was nowhere for me to stay or anything, so I just hung out in the train station for a couple hours, and then one of the workers there was like, oh, we're closed, you have to go. And I was like, but I'm waiting for the 5 a.m. train back to Antwerp. And he's like, oh, well, here are your choices. You can stay in this room that doesn't have heating, or I can let you into the bathroom area where there's heating. And I was like, heating, please. So then he takes me, and well, it doesn't take me, I followed him. And he left me to the room, and yeah, I spent the night in the toilet last night. But it was warm, and I don't care. But yeah, that was my big blunder. And then I got on the train at 5 a.m. And then I had 6 trains to get to Berlin, and it took 13 hours to get here. And then I get here, and despite the fact that emailed reception and they knew I was going to be here at 6 o'clock, they're not going to be here until 8 o'clock. And I haven't really slept except for an hour or two on the train, and then for an hour in the back, which is still kind of funny. I did, however, see snow for the first time. I think that's the real reason I came to Berlin, was to see the snow. Although maybe not. I was so excited though, so like a kid. I also really enjoyed your video and the rambling. However, I thought it was really, really amusing, only because instead of rehashing out the topic of your old video, you just sort of rambled on in a new one. Also, when you were playing with the video, I was like, oh my god, she's turned into Edward's favorite hand. You just totally had your own moment there. But yeah, I am finally in Berlin after a million years of travel, and I will update you when I can. So, I'll see you soon.